Today we're going to use the element of art and shape in order to create funny face pumpkin collage. We're going to use geometric shapes and organic shapes. Today what we're going to do is we're going to start with a blue piece of paper and some crayons. I'm going to draw a zigzag line across my paper a few times. We're going to do it 3 times, and then I will go ahead and color that in. What do you think this is? You're right, it's grass. We're going to make grass for the bottom of our funny face pumpkin collage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skills that I learned before and how I drew a tree with no leaves on it. I'm going to make what's called a silhouette. So it's just going to be the tree itself. So I'm going to start out with my Y shape, and then I'm going to put branches on my Y, and then I'm going to put different sizes and lengths of branches on my tree so that I can make this look more and more like a more realistic tree. The more branches I put on here, the more realistic it will look. Okay, now that I have enough branches on here, I'm going to thicken up the trunk so that it looks nice and tall and set to go. I'm going to use the geometric shape circle and put a white circle up at the top. What do you think that is? That's right, I think it's the moon. All right, from here, I am going to take my landscape that I made, and I am going to add a pumpkin to it. So I'm going to use the orange construction paper, and I can either put it the tall way or the long way. So if I want a fat pumpkin, I'll put it one way, and if I want it the tall way, then I'll put it the other. I'm going to fold my piece of paper in half, and once I have my paper folded in half, I'm going to draw on the fold, make sure I got a nice crease on there, and then I'm going to draw on the fold half of a pumpkin. Once I have half of the pumpkin drawn on there, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's in the middle so that when I cut it out, I end up with one pumpkin and not 2 halves. So now that I have it cut out, I can unfold it, and then I can glue it onto my paper. So I'm going to use the glue stick here and glue it right onto my paper. I'm going to make sure that I glue on the pencil side so that my pumpkin has no pencil on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the lines and maybe add a little bit of highlights with the crayons. Now I'm going to use my brown paper, and I'm going to cut myself a stem and glue that on. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the white paper, and I'm going to cut a strip of it off so that I'm using it as a rectangle, which is a geometric shape. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my piece of paper, and I'm going to cut out eye shape, and I can use whatever shape that I would like for my eyes. In my case, I'm going to use this rainbow shape, but you could use circles or triangles or whatever you would like. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my eyes onto my pumpkin. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my black paper. I'm going to cut a strip off of it, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to cut pupils out of them. So I'm going to use a circle, but again, you can use whatever shape that you want. You can also put your pupils wherever you like on yours. So if you want to make it look super goofy and make it look cross-eyed or have it staring up into the sky, whatever you want to do, however you want to make it. Now I'm going to cut a black rainbow shape out of my black paper. So I want it fairly big. And so now that I have this shape, this half circle on here, this is going to be my mouth. So I can put it this way, or if I wanted it to look a little bit more goofy, I could put it upside down, or I could put it at a diagonal. However I want to put my mouth on there, go ahead and glue it down. Once I have it glued down, then I'm going to cut another strip of white paper out of it. Once I have the paper strip cut, I'm going to cut little squares out of there. So I'm going to cut, I don't know, 4 or 5 squares, however many you want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing them in for teeth so that my pumpkin looks like he has got a silly grin going on. I'm going to cut a couple of strips of green paper out, and then I am going to use a pencil and twirl it around so that they look like curlicues. And I have to hold it for a couple of seconds. And then I can go ahead and tuck those in underneath. And now my silly pumpkin is done.